All right. Hello, everyone. I am Emily Flynn, and this is the Live Well Kingston Commission. It is June 16th at 4:06, and we will do a round of introductions, and then we'll go going on our agenda. So I'll say it again. I'm Emily Flynn. I'm the Director of Health and Wellness for the City of Kingston, and that means I coordinate the Live Well Kingston Commission, which this is. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm going to pass it, as always, to Troy Ellen.
Thank you, Emily. I'm Troy Ellen Dixon. I use she, her, pronouns. I am, in this particular moment, the chair of the Live Well Kingston Commission, and I will pass it on to Siobhan.
Thanks, Troy Ellen. Hi, everyone. My name's Siobhan. I'm the commissioner for the Live Well Commission, and I'm also the outreach coordinator for the Kingston Food Co-op. And I will pass it to Cindy.
Just Siobhan is also our secretary.
Oh yeah, I was trying to leave that part out, Troy Ellen, because I haven't taken any notes yet. But Emily, since we're on that, I will take notes.
You don't. So James is interning for us. James is going to take some notes this week, and
Okay.
if don't forget, we talked about maybe discussing that when we go back in person, so you don't have to do notes when we're virtual.
Okay, thanks, Emily. Cindy, take it away.
Okay, hi everybody. Cindy Muro. I use she, her, aya pronouns. I'm a member of the Grow Well Kingston arm of the program, and reporting in today about things that are going on.
Can I pass for you to Susanna?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, hi, I'm Susanna Callahan with the Institute for Family Health. I am involved in planning and development and community engagement. And Cindy, it's funny, I think I've gotten emails from you for a couple of years or a while. And now it's nice to, I think I'm on some email list with you. I've seen your name, so it's nice to meet you. Yes. Malia.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry that I am off camera. I don't know if you can hear some of the background noise, but I am coming to you remotely from a recreation center on the south side of Denver today, and I'm surrounded by little kids who just got out of a recreational swimming program. So I apologize for the noise. I am a commissioner with the Live Well Kingston Commission, and normally I work at Bard College, but today I'm traveling. So glad to join you remotely.
Thank you for calling in. And it looks actually sounds like real people in person. It was actually kind of lovely background chatter.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah. I went to a Rockies game last night. That felt like so amazingly normal. It was really weird. But I can't see everyone on screen, so I'll let you pass it to the next person, Emily.
Will do. Thank you, Malia. James, you don't have to come on camera if you don't want to, but do you mind just saying hi?
Yeah, sure. Hi, guys. My name is James. I use he, him pronouns. I'm going to be a senior at SUNY New Paltz this fall, and I am Live Well Kingston's communication intern for this summer. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. All right. So I've put the agenda notes in the chat, but I'll do it once more. So we'll move right along. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve of the meeting minutes from May?
I'll make a motion that we approve the May meeting minutes.
Thank you, Troy Ellen. Do I hear a second?
I second that.
I saw, so Siobhan said it, I saw Susanna, but I'm going to say Siobhan for the second. Thank you. So great. So now we are open for discussion, for any discussion for the May meeting minutes. Would anyone like to add to this discussion? It looks like Malia will abstain. Thank you for that, Malia. If no discussion, good. Welcome, Heidi. Thank you for joining us. We're just doing the meeting minutes to bring you up to speed. If there's no conversation, I can call a vote. Would all of the commissioners in favor of the May meeting minutes give me a thumbs up? Thank you. Or Malia, how about you? Do you approve the May meeting minutes?
Well, I'm
Malia's
abstaining.
abstaining.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're abstaining. You'd said that. My apologies. So seeing that, the motion passes and the May meeting minutes are approved. Thank you very much. All right, next up is a Grow Well presentation. So Troyan, this isn't to vote on, so I don't need to go through the rules, right? Okay, great. So Cindy, thank you for joining us tonight to talk to us about Grow Well. Would you like to dive right in, or is any kind of introduction you'd like me to do to it? Troyan, go ahead.
Just give Heidi a moment to introduce herself since she came in late and James doesn't know her, I don't think.
Hello, my name's Heidi Kirschner. I'm with the YMCA. Been on the commission. How long has it been? 4 months or so, about that. So happy to be here. And I see James. Where is James from?
James, would you like to talk, or do you want me to introduce you?
Hi. Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm from Long Island, but I'm a senior. I'm going to be a senior at SUNY New Paltz in the fall.
Oh, great. Awesome.
I'm a PR major.
Excellent. Welcome. Wonderful.
James,
I just noticed something. I'm missing from the minutes on May again, attendance. I think I was missing the month before too.
my apologies, Susanna. Great. I'll add that right now. I see your name in the May minutes.
You do?
I do.
Okay, I'm blind. Sorry.
You're after Lori.
I am?
So here, I'm going to share the link in the chat. Let's make sure that we're in the same place.
That's the one I'm looking at. Oh, I see it. Yep. Sorry.
Okay.
I apologize.
No need. Thank you so much. Good. Keep us on our toes. I appreciate it. Okay. Anna.
James is the FYI is the summer intern for the Live Well Kingston Commission, communications intern. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Traylon. And Anna, since you're here now with us, do you mind introducing yourself?
No, I don't mind. So sorry I'm late. I was on my walk. I got a lot of distractions today. I saw a snake. I saw a baby deer. Oh my gosh. I just kind of just ran home. It was very exciting. So I'm Anna Brett. I've been on Live Well Kingston Commission since the inception. I don't know how many years that is, Emily, but it's getting on there. And I'm a retired health educator from Kingston City Schools.
Thank you so much, Anna. And Susie, I see that you have joined us. If you don't mind giving a quick introduction to yourself, I have you also down later on the agenda if you want to do a longer kind of introduction, but this is just like your name, your pronouns, a quick thing.
Sure. My name is Susie Jimenez, pronouns she, they. I am, just like many of you on this phone call, wear multiple hats doing multiple projects. I'm the program director for a summer camp called Adelante Students, which helps undocumented students get access to higher education, and also the community outreach coordinator for Citizens for Local Power.
Thank you so much for joining us, Susie. All right. Going back, we were just about to do the Grow Well focus team presentation. If Cindy is ready, are you there, Cindy? Or I can start.
Can you see me?
I can't see you, but that's fine.
I'm just looking at I was just looking at the notes because there's so much more on there than I can remember.
That was my attempt to try to set up a few
No,
points.
that was
Yeah.
nice. I was looking at that, Anna. Okay, yeah, sure. Can I go back to looking at, if I look at the notes, can you not see me?
We can't, but that's fine. Go look at the notes while you talk.
And
That's
then
fine.
I'll let me look at the notes and then I'll come back to you. So let's see. 'Cause I'll forget something for sure. There's way more than I can remember. So hi everybody. Grow Well Kingston is just busting out all over town, doing so many things, and we have lots of different committees working on things. Let's see. So we are working on supporting, right now our focus here is the Roundout Gardens, the Barman Park Gardens, and trying to get them up and running and supported so that they're well attended. Roundout Gardens is a little bit more set up than Barman is right now. We're working on getting them a water source and just getting it cleaned up and getting people in there. But myself and a few other people, Sarah Katz, are working on that. And also really cool project that kind of happened through all these connections is the geography department at SUNY New Paltz, in coordination with the National Science Foundation, wants to do like a 2-year study on the effects of air pollution on vegetables in city environments. So they're coordinating with Roundout Gardens, George Washington School Garden, and the YMCA to set up some experimental stations in these gardens. So that was a really neat connection. We're also working on, well, the garden bed project has all of their beds out and planted, and the mentors are working with all the new garden bed recipients to make sure they're going well. The focus team webpage, I'm not sure if that refers to the grow. We're working on making a Facebook group page. Is that the same thing, Emily? Or is that
I was going to draw attention to the fact that the focus team updated the webpage on the website. We'd spent some time building that out, but then also mention the Facebook. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I did see that what the focus team webpage is, and it looks really great. And then we're also considering trying to have a Facebook group for Grow Well so that we can, just get more information out to the community and have it be interactive. And there is also a community survey, which I think has been updated, and that is, I think that shows up on the webpage right now for people who are interested in finding out about ways to be involved with Grow Well. And what else? What else? The structuring and the zoning are things that I don't know a lot about, but maybe someone else can speak to that. But I will say that, the group has kind of, turned a corner in that we spent the whole first year trying to figure out just like the foundation of the group. And now everyone who has their particular areas of expertise have gone off and are working on their areas of expertise. And so that's really nice. And, we get together every 2 weeks to pull back together and see what's happening and see how we can support each other and make sure that we're staying true to our mission. That's most of what I can tell you. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'll come back to.
May I add to it, Cindy?
Please do.
I want to add that, so Grow Well is discussing meeting at a new time. We've currently been meeting every other Monday at around 1 or 2. And there's a discussion about trying to make that meeting more accessible to other community members. So we have a survey out to anyone who has expressed interest in the group before. And we can, maybe I will look that up the next time I have a chance, and I'll put that in the chat because that can be shared out to any community member that you might know that might want to participate. So we're discussing a new meeting time, and it sort of looks like the results are starting to land on like an evening meeting, maybe during a weekday. So that's interesting reflection also back for our other focus teams about trying to be more accessible to the community. So I think this is something that we might want to consider. I wanted to mention the AGM Growers Grant. So the Farm Hub, Sarah Katz gets so much credit. She partnered with the YMCA Farm Project. They applied and got a grant for shade water, so let me think. It's water collectors that kind of could later turn into tool sheds, but right now they're water collectors for the Y Farm and I think for Barman Park. So it's great collaboration that's starting to happen in this group. Let's see, what else was there? Oh, structuring. So there's a subcommittee that's just trying to look at the way that Grow Well is organized and how it would report and how it would be accountability. There's values of trying to center people of color in our work. And so we want to create a structure where there's accountability weaved into it. And so we looked at 3 different organizations. I think it was Rise Up Kingston, Good Work Institute, and the Kingston Food Co-op. And we looked at their structures to be inspired. So we've done that kind of research. And now the subcommittee is going to come up with a proposal to bring back to Grow Well about how it's structured. So that's kind of in progress. And then zoning and policy is less formal. There's a few members that are in other conversations about zoning and the new zoning effort in the city of Kingston, and they're going to try to connect us back to Grow Well. And it's not actionable yet, but ideally Grow Well might be able to push for different zoning considerations when the time is appropriate. Troy Ellen, you're in a lot of that work. Is there anything that Cindy and I are forgetting?
I think so. Sounds pretty comprehensive.
Cool. Yeah, so then commissioners, is there any questions for Cindy, for myself about Grow Well? Thoughts or considerations?
I have a couple questions if I can chime in. I'm really glad this group exists. I think there's so much potential and possibility here. I missed the last Live Well Kingston meeting, so I apologize if maybe this was covered then, but I don't have a clear understanding of what the priorities and sort of broad goals of the group are, because Grow Well could encompass so many things. Are we focusing on sort of, helping people grow food, or is it, enabling people to have pollinator gardens? There's a lot of different things that could be covered, and I'm interested in all of them. But I would love, from sort of a big picture perspective, to understand what the large priorities are.
I can answer part of that, or I can answer it to some degree. So I think a big part of our focus is on urban agriculture and helping people who are interested in growing food. But there is also an aspect. There's I'm not even sure what it's called, but there is a subgroup called, Future Fruits, who is interested in, and also with working with the Kingston Land Trust. There's some groups who are doing pollinator gardens with the Land Trust, and with helping to bring fruit trees and fruit bushes to public spaces. So it's a little bit of everything, because there is so much potential in every angle, and there's X amount of people involved right now. It could forever expand out as we find more people who have a particular interest coming on board. So, to some extent, it's limitless as far as we can continue to enroll people and to be involved. And I mean, the beautiful part that I'm seeing about this group is that there is so much collaboration between all the different people who are in it, and everybody knows somebody else. And so all you have to do is sort of put out the word that, you're trying to make something happen, and people chime in where they can and enhance. So the networking is great.
We don't have an action plan as we do for the other focus teams quite filled out quite yet. We've started a very rough draft. We do have a mission statement. Malia, maybe that sort of answers it a little bit. And that is that Grow Well is a collective of organizations and individuals that support Kingston residents to grow plants and raise animals for food, medicine, and natural habitat and beauty by supporting projects that provide knowledge, growing spaces, and resources. So that's pretty broad, as Cindy was saying. But I think part of Grow Well is also, like Cindy was starting to say, about networking and also getting the landscape of what organizations are already doing great work in our community. So it's a bit about bringing them together. And I think we're still developing our common goals. So that's still in process. Malia, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. That's very helpful. Thank you. That it all sounds great. It makes a lot of sense that, I mean, you can't stand up a new group and immediately say, before everyone's had a chance to get to know each other and see what the landscape is, like, this is what we're going to work on. So it makes a lot of sense that you're sort of establishing the group. I'm really sorry about the background noise. I hope it's not too noisy for you guys.
No, it's fine.
I guess one other follow-up question. I'm just curious, is as you've been doing this collaboration, connecting with other groups, what has been the any conversation with either Kingston government or even, I know this is Live Well Kingston Commission or even Ulster County, because I'm thinking of things like that this group could potentially weigh in on the future is things like the mowing policy in public spaces. Like, you don't necessarily need to mow 30 feet wide on either side of the highway. It could be 20 feet, and that actually makes a big difference in terms of the pollution that the mowers create, but also having a little bit more wild habitat. I mean, those are some of the things I'm interested in. Maybe it's too early days for that kind of thing, but I would love for this group to sort of help the city of Kingston think about those kinds of policies for how public spaces are maintained, and how that can be done in a way that supports the public growing of food, but also the preservation of habitat.
I'm going to ask Malia a question. Would you like to join Grow Well? Do you have the capacity?
So answer to the first question is yes. I actually started filling out the interest form a couple of weeks ago, and then I considered the second question you asked and thought, oh, I'm not sure. So I'm waiting to see about a couple things, that other irons in the fire with my work. And once I get a better sense over, I think hopefully by the end of the summer, I'll know whether I could join the group. But I am very, very interested in it. So whether or not I'm able to join, I would love to, try to help influence the conversation as a commissioner on Live Well Kingston.
And that would be greatly appreciated, Malia, because we would love thought partnership from wherever it comes. To the point you were raising about working with the city of Kingston about habitat and reducing pollution and everything, we're engaged in. The city of Kingston is going to be switching. They've hired a consultant to develop form-based code, zoning code, which is different from the Euclidean zoning code, which says you can only have commercial business here or retail business there or 2-acre zoning here, and is more about form, as it says. And as part of the conversation, there's a zoning conversation going on within Grow Well, but there's also another group which will probably complement that, which is trying to make sure that we get as much information from the community on a variety of things, which for me includes food forests. How do we make sure that form-based code allows us to have food forests, the understory, the trees, the berry and nut bushes, et cetera, and it doesn't, whether they're in public spaces or on private property, so that people are able to do those sorts of things. So to me, the opportunities are endless and will continue to grow over time.
That all sounds great. Love to stay involved however I can.
Any other questions or thoughts about Grow Well? All right. Thank you so much, Cindy. Thanks for your report. And so we will move on to administrative matters, but that I was hoping to have Susie introduce herself, so maybe we'll come back to that in just a moment. It looks like she was having some audio problems. So let me move on to new business, and these are sort of some, I don't know if it's new business, maybe it's more like announcements and communications, but this is where I put it. James is here, and he's interning, as we mentioned, for Live Well Kingston. And I guess I mentioned that because if there's social media communications that we would like to put out, we can get to that a lot faster than previously. So any organizations that want to get the word out about events, programs, or projects, now just shoot me an email and I can have James work on that. I hope to have James also help with some website improvements, do some analytics, and maybe we'll have a bit of a marketing report, maybe at the next Live Well Kingston or the following meeting. So wanted to update you all on some communications for Live Well. Any questions on that, or I can move on to some grant updates.
I just want to say, Emily, I'll be sending a flyer for this event I mentioned last time on July 17th, the summer party we're throwing. Love if you could circulate that so people can see it if they happen to miss it on our other avenues of promotion. So I'll be sending that to you.
That's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. Thank you, Siobhan. All right, I'll go through some quick grant updates. I think we mentioned at the last meeting that my department has received and the city has received the Creating Healthy Schools and Communities grant. I can talk more about that. I'm going to do a little blurb about it just because it's good to keep kind of getting the information out. It's about physical activity and nutrition and kind of 3 different bucket locations. The city was like the main applicant, but then we're going to contract out with Cornell Cooperative Extension to do the physical activity and nutrition in the school, in the Kingston City School District. And then we contracted with the family of Woodstock to do the same physical activity and nutrition in early child care centers. And then the 3rd bucket will be in my department, and that is in the community. So we'll be doing some food service guideline implementation in a couple of different community locations, including the Dietz Stadium concessions, People's Place. Christine is very interested in some smoothies, so we're going to work with her on that. The 3rd one is kind of going to be a hard one. I think that's going to be, and that's the hospital. I don't have much to say on that yet, except that that I have a lot of work to do there. So that's going to be a big project. The other part of the physical activity in communities is that this grant will help do a small capital project in the city to increase walkability. So we think we've identified that we might try to fund the landscaping at the Broadway and Grand intersection. That's where the Planet Wings was just demolished, right? Next, Heidi could look out her window and see it. So we're hoping that some of these grant funds can go towards maybe creating some placemaking and making that an attractive, walkable place. So big project. Along with that, probably definitely is funds to hire another staff person in my department. May no longer be a department of 1, but maybe a department of 2. So in the future, I may have another employee who might come to this meeting. So this is pretty exciting. It's a huge grant. Susanna, you've got your hand up.
I'm curious, did you have to get like buy-in, collaboration from all the partners you mentioned, including the hospital, before you?
We didn't get an MOU from the hospital, but we did talk to a few, Jerry and Susie, who's in the grants department, and sort of found out some information about the hospital. That's, I think, part of why it's so sticky is like, I'm struggling a little bit with why they would let us come in and do food service guidelines. But that's the goal, is to create a relationship there and see how we can support the hospital. Maybe there's things that they need, and maybe they have goals about how they'd like to create healthy eating opportunities, and maybe they need.
Right. Well, they're opening the new hospital by next year too. So I don't know what's happening with their cafeteria, but it could be a good opportunity timing wise to go in. Yeah.
And my understanding is that their food system is all contracted out, that there's a food service that does it. So that also adds another layer of complexity. I'm guessing that they have some kind of contract. Maybe we can try to support them in the way that the contract is written so that there's some healthy goals involved. I have no idea really how that's going to go quite yet. That feels very opaque to me, but it's one of our goals. And so then I just wanted to mention that, so it's a 5-year grant. Yeah, go on, Troy.
With the hospital also, not only healthier options, but perhaps culturally appropriate food options in this community, given the diversity.
Absolutely. And in the work, we're trying to write in some more community outreach, really trying to hear from the community what kind of food preferences or resources, the kinds of things that we could try to build into it. It is a pretty structured grant coming from the State Department of Health, but we're going to try to write in some stuff into it so that it's more community responsive. So 5 years, 1.5 million for the 5 years, so $300,000 a year. It'll be a very big project for my department. So I guess I also mention it because it's gonna almost a quarter of my time is going to go towards it. So life is getting busier. Any other questions about this grant?
It gets busier, but you're going to have staff.
I know. Yeah. It never seems to happen though. Whenever there's new staff, the work fills to expand it. Always. I'll move on to a quick pedestrian and bicycle master plan update if there's no other questions about that. My big news there is that the application time has closed for a consultant for the pedestrian and bicycle master plan. We got some really great applicants and proposals. We narrowed it down and we had some interviews this week. So we don't have a decision quite yet, but in the next couple of weeks, we should have identified who our consultant will be. Then that project will kick off into high gear. We are planning a whole public outreach plan. I hope that will be quite robust. So I'm sure that I'll be reaching out to all of you to help disseminate that, and also contacts who might want to be on our community participation committee. So lots of work happening around the planning for pedestrians and bicycles, cyclists and pedestrians. I'm not sure how clear I was on that announcement. Any questions on that? All right, sounds like Susie's having a little trouble still, but we hope to have Susie come back. Those were my announcements. So let's see. I think we'll move to if anyone else has any other communications or announcements, and then we'll see if Susie has joined us again, and we can have her introduce herself. Siobhan, do you want to tell us a little bit more about that co-op event? Is there any other details or anything else in the co-op world you want to share with us?
Sure. So we're planning a large summer party on Saturday, July 17th. It's going to be at the Big Bubble, the former Big Bubble laundromat parking lot in between the co-ops building and Radio Kingston. And it's in partnership with, let me just pull up the flyer so I don't miss any orgs, in partnership with Radio Kingston, My Kingston Kids, Tilda's Kitchen and Market, Rise Up Kingston, the Kingston YMCA Farm Project, Future Fruits, Bike Friendly Kingston. And I'm still holding out until tomorrow to hear from a few more organizations, whether or not they want to be part of the event, but it's going to be really fun. We're going to have food from Seasoned Delicious, from Culture, from Mi Ranchito, from La Hacienda. We're going to have tropical ice there. These are all businesses along Broadway, with the exception of the tropical ice, but still Kingston, local Kingston business. And it's free for everybody. We're going to have face painting, bubbles, cotton candy, chalk art, and other fun activities for the family. Music, we're going to have a DJ. And we're asking organizations that are working on this event with us to do like to host an activity pretty much. So like Radio Kingston is doing the bubbles and the cotton candy. Future Fruits is going to do the chalk art. And it's kind of up to the organizations to choose what they want to do. So there's some other stuff happening, but it's going to be really fun, free for everybody. And if there's any organizations here that want to be part of it, reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat. But yeah, that's a fun event we're planning. And the reason I said holding off until tomorrow is because tomorrow is 1 month from the date of the event. So I'm trying to finalize the flyer so I can create the event on Facebook and get those printed and everything. But if you guys are available that day, I hope you can stop by with your family members and friends and join the fun.
Siobhan, could you send out the flyer to all of us, and I can
Yeah.
put it up like in our Kingston pediatric area, you know, where we see a lot of kids, and to make sure that that's, you know, advertised in there, you know, in our family practice center too.
Okay, totally. I definitely will, Susanna. Thank you. And I just put my email in the chat. If anybody is interested in having the organization there. It's not going to be like a tabling thing. We don't want it to be that kind of thing. We want it to be hands-on, be fun and active. So we're really excited.
Is the Tropical Ices vendor the person who is the youngest member of the Ulster County Chamber of Commerce?
Is he a member? Yes, it has to be the same.
He's 12 years
person.
old.
He's
Yes.
absolutely adorable.
I first met him when he was 10, Juneteenth 2019, and I was like, my God. Yeah.
He is the best. So yeah, I'm so looking forward for him to be there because he just makes every event you know, it's like the cherry on top. So I'm really excited to have him there.
That's great. I'm sure there's a story behind that about how the Chamber of Commerce, you know, got a 12-year-old onto their, you know, working with them. There must be some story there, but it's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, great idea.
Emily, can I share with everyone that we're the YMCA, along with the LGBTQ Community Center and Radio Kingston, we're doing a live broadcast watch party of the 2021 New York City Youth Pride event. It's going to be a live broadcast of their event that they have in New York City. We will be having that, broadcasting it here at the Y. It will be from 3 to 7 on June 26th. So we'll have a live viewing, we'll have games, snacks, and a whole lot of fun. It's going to be a very welcoming space for anyone and everyone who wants to attend.
Great. And I have one announcement too. I've sent all you guys an email, I think 1 or 2 times. So the Institute is really excited to be having, finally, after 2 years, a groundbreaking ceremony for our Midtown Health Center on Pine Street on Monday, June 28th at 9 a.m. We're really excited, and I think we just kind of finalized some issues today, and we'll be solidifying our contractor and really getting the ball rolling. And we're hoping that the construction of the health center will take 12 months. But if anybody knows anything about construction these days, it's been crazy, right? Materials and everything else, but we anticipate things going fairly well, knock on wood, over the next year. But anyway, the groundbreaking is just for an hour. We have some guest presenters saying a few words, some elected officials, the mayor is coming, and a few other folks, Michelle Hinchy and some other people, and it'll be fun. So come on over. It's at, oh my gosh, I'm so bad at the address. 130 Pine Street. I have to go look at the thing. I don't know why I have a block about the exact address, but it's where the old Pine Street Pediatrics used to be, and the Pine Street dental. There's a whole campus of buildings there. So And it may be, I'm not sure if it's going to be broadcast on Radio Kingston. We're working that out, but
140 Pine Street.
140. I have the clock, Heidi. I don't know what it is. Oh my God, I've been there so often. 140.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's going to be a wonderful
Yeah.
facility on that block.
On that block, I know. And
Yeah.
then I think I mentioned this before, about 20% of the entire space, so half of the whole top floor is dedicated to community space to be determined. So
Excellent.
that's going to be, 6 months from now, we'll start bringing people together to have conversations about what people want and how to use that space.
Wonderful.
So,
Great.
yeah.
Other announcements?
The Kingston Emergency Food Collaborative is having a community celebration also on June 26th, Saturday, June 26th. But our community celebration is going to be at the Kingston Point Beach Pavilion. It starts at 12, runs until 6, or when people get tired. And we will be serving food and beverages from 12 to 3. It's a free event. Anybody is welcome. It's a celebration of the community, how the community has come together and continues to work together for nearly 16 months to provide meals and groceries to people. So folks receiving food, folks delivering food, folks organizing, folks working on systems change, anybody, and if just folks in the community, because we want to talk about the work that we're doing. It's not going to be a planned program where there's speechifying or anything like that. It just really is to have fun. So we're going to have everything, and everything's donated, because that's how we roll in the KEFC. We get stuff donated so that we can continue to do our work in the community. So we have hamburgers, on hot dogs. I believe we're getting chicken. I know we're getting pulled pork. It's restaurants, it's purveyors. We're gonna have mac and cheese. We're gonna have macaroni salad. We're gonna have green salads. Oh, and we're getting ice cream from the truck that goes through the neighborhood and everything. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. And hope y'all can stop by for a little while.
Where's the mac and cheese from? Ruby May?
No, I think it's Old Savannah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've reached out. We have one person. I'm always amazed by this person. Her name is Pohan, because she uses her last name. And she is absolutely fearless in calling up complete strangers and saying, so we want 100 pounds of something, or we want, like 20 pounds of something. And somehow they do it. We've gotten dozens of eggs, we've gotten grains, we've gotten, yogurts. It's just amazing. So, but we're all pulling together, and a lot of our community partners will be there.
That's great.
And I'll send it to you, Heidi, the flyer to you, Heidi, because I want to make sure that the Y staff knows that they are absolutely valued for their contribution. So want to make sure that the Y staff is invited.
Right. We said whether you packed one bag or are still making deliveries and everything in between, anybody who had something to do with KEFC, which is pretty much, the entire community.
Almost everyone, yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's great.
Other communications to go over? Anna, anything from you in your world? Okay. Wonderful. Then and Malia, I wanted to give you a chance, but did you want to have, is there anything in your world you'd like to announce?
No, I'm still here. Sorry. No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, thanks.
Thank you so much. All right. So then we're going to jump back. Susie, thank you so much for joining us. You submitted an application. Thank you for that. Would you like to take a moment to introduce yourself to all of our other commissioners? I think we'd love to just welcome you. So any way that you'd like to introduce yourself would be wonderful.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Sorry about the little issue with tech. I thought I had an audio issue, and then like my child's running in the background and with AirPods, and every time the audio would drop, and I realized it's because my kid's walking behind me and it's picking up her audio. So I restarted. I did this whole tech thing, and I realized it's somebody else was getting my meeting audio. But anyway, my name is Susie Jimenez. I don't live in Kingston. I used to, but I was raised kind of going to church in Kingston and raised a lot in Kingston since we lived on the other side of the river, and Kingston was one of the first places that had like Spanish speaking mass, and so kind of grew in that Spanish speaking community in Kingston, which means the world to me since they are really the ones that kind of like raised me, and you know, that kind of saying of like community raising you. That's like really where I grew up and met friends and kind of was encouraged to continue towards college and everything. So proud to always be working and assisting in any ways I can my community. I did study art. I have my master's in fine arts, but as somebody from a cultural background with limited access to education, going to college for art means that I am also an accountant. I'm also 10 other things that my degree was not qualifies me for, but that's what it means. I do run a summer program for undocumented students who are in similar situations as I was growing up, and we help them learn about the higher education process, going into schools, some legal avenues, yeah, information about taxes and stuff like that, informing their parents. During COVID, we did kind of switch more to the more hands-on, trying to provide aid to families and advocating for that students should not have to return their laptops during the summer, for internet accessibility for all these families, which many of them still did not have access to the internet. And although we are kind of all throughout New York State, but most of our students are based here within the Hudson Valley though.
Susie, where is your camp located? Is it over across a bunch of different locations, or is it one single location?
We mostly gather at Vassar College on their campus. Although not this year. We're located on Cornwall on the Hudson this year. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with College Connect out of Culture Connect in Rhinebeck and Red Hook. And I actually helped to start this College Connect, which is a program to help first generation immigrant, students from immigrant families attend college. And we have encouraged a number of kids, and I think a number of students have attended the summer program over the last couple of years from Adelante. You guys do really great work. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Susie wears many hats. Susie, you only gave us one thing you're doing. Talk about the other things. And it doesn't mean that she's at capacity, but just to underscore her commitment to the Kingston community and the Hudson Valley in general.
Sure. I'm also, I'm also currently still working on the Latino cultural study with Arts Mid-Hudson. That's been going on for a few years, but that's very important within the community, and really not giving the community art classes that they weren't interested in, or just like bilingual classes, but really understanding more of these cultural aspects of the arts and folk arts, and even going back to training some people that have never had any kind of teaching experience or anything, but might want to teach their craft, like embroidery or ceramics, and kind of offer them a different opportunity to engage with their craft. So that's what we're doing along with the Latino cultural study. And then I'm also the outreach coordinator for Citizens for Local Power, working on currently the rate case that's still going on, asking for some sort of debt forgiveness in regards to utilities against Central Hudson, asking for language accessibility, as Central Hudson is a multi-billion-dollar monopoly and their website is still not translated to any language, because there's no really like anything on there, and to have bills in Spanish or multiple languages and customers and a better customer service representation with that. So many things.
Thank you.
I might have forgotten one or two.
Oh, I'm sure you did, but that's okay.
Also on the art committee for O Positive. Probably all the yeah.
Well, I am also so pleased that you carved out some time for us today. Thank you, Susie. It seems like you're involved in lots, and just wonderful to have you here. So that's pretty much our agenda. I could hear a motion to go into executive session if we would like, commissioners, and then we would ask our guests to jump off and we could have a discussion about this. We do have quorum, or we could bring this up next month if you prefer. Would anyone like to help me make a decision about what we should do now?
I say now.
Yes, we're all here.
Yeah, Emily, just, sorry, I'm gonna have to, it looks like I'm gonna have to peel off in about 5 minutes, but if we can, I'm happy to do a vote
Yeah.
quickly.
Okay, so thank you so much, Susie. We'll be in touch, and I make a motion that we will adjourn into executive session.
I'll second.
Second.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye, Susan.
Bye.
Hi, Susie. Cindy, thank you so much. You can jump off.